Welcome to Financial Confidence for High-Achieving Women, the go-to podcast for women of color entrepreneurs overwhelmed by their finances and ready to transform their money mindset, take control of their money, and build sustainable wealth. I'm your host, Taryn, better known as T-Money, certified financial coach and CEO of Money Honey LLC. I believe that abundance is your birthright and that good money management doesn't mean cutting out the joy from your life. Stick around to learn how you can build intentional money habits that align with your biggest lifestyle goals. Let's get into today's episode. Many high achievers don't realize there's a difference between a financial coach and a CPA, and hiring the wrong one for your needs can slow down your progress. Welcome to episode 15 of the Financial Confidence for High Achieving Women podcast. I'm your host, Taryn, better known as T-Money, and today we'll be talking about the key differences between financial coaches and CPAs, when to hire each one, and red flags that signal you might be hiring the wrong person for your needs. Your financial team is important to your wealth building journey, and I want to make sure you're selecting the best professionals for your needs. Plus, stay tuned at the end of this episode for a little business update and announcement. So let's get into the good stuff here by just kind of defining each role. So the first thing is, what is a certified financial coach? So you've probably heard me say that I am a certified financial coach because I am. And we really focus on helping you develop healthy money habits, build financial confidence, especially in my case, that's what I'm really focused on, and creating an aligned strategy to reach your goals. So what a financial coach can help you with is budgeting and cash flow management, overcoming emotional money blocks and doing some mindset or somatic work around those, depending on your training, developing sustainable spending habits, debt payoff strategies, saving and investing, some basic guidance, I will say, to emphasize around the investing part, as well as goal setting and financial accountability. Now, what a financial coach cannot do is file your taxes, provide investment or tax advice above that basic guidance part, or prepare financial statements for business purposes. Okay, so that is your certified financial coach. Now let's get into the CPA. So your CPA is a licensed accountant who specializes in tax planning, compliance, and financial reporting. What a CPA can help you with is filing taxes, business and personal, by the way, tax strategy and deductions, business financial reporting, ensuring compliance with financial laws, audits, and financial statement reviews. Now, what a CPA cannot do is teach you how to manage your money daily, help you change your financial habits, and provide emotional or behavioral coaching around spending. So we can kind of see the differences here when we really define each of the roles. And so now I want to help you with when to hire each one. Okay, so when to hire a financial coach, when to hire a CPA. You want to hire a financial coach if you struggle with budgeting or overspending, you need accountability to reach your financial goals, you have emotional spending habits or financial anxiety, you're making good money but don't necessarily know how to use it wisely. So you can see that with a financial coach, a lot of it is not just the money and the spreadsheets and the strategy itself, but it's also how you are relating to money. So that's where coaching really comes to play. And according to the Consumer Financial Protection Bureau, financial coaching can increase your savings rates by 73% and improve financial confidence. So it's great to have a financial coach on your team. And I know I'm a little biased, okay, because yes, I am a financial coach, but for real, we add value. So the next thing is when to hire a CPA. Great time to hire a CPA is when you're a business owner and need tax planning. You have complex tax situations. So that usually looks like multiple income streams, real estate, investments, so on and so forth. you're being audited or need financial statements for a loan, you want to legally minimize your tax burden. So those are the times that you need a CPA. So you'll see that a lot of it, again, because they focus in taxes, are going to be very tax focused and even tax planning focused. And yes, like when I had that episode about financially preparing for your house, right? One of those things that you do prepare are your tax returns. Your lender is going to ask you for those. They might also ask for additional information, and that's a great time to partner with your CPA to be able to produce those documents. And this stat I love is from the National Small Business Association, and that is that small business owners who work with a CPA are 50% more likely to be financially successful. So make sure you got a CPA on your team as well, okay? And now I want to talk about when you might need both. Because truthfully, I feel like having both of them is great. But, sometimes you got to start with one professional at a time. So when you might need both is when you're a high income earner trying to optimize both habits and strategy. Another reason to hire both is that you want a financial coach to help you with managing your money throughout the year and a CPA to help you handle taxes at year end. Okay, so those are a couple great reasons why you might need both a CPA and a financial coach in your life. So now this is the one I like to get into because yes, it's nice to know the difference between both. It's nice to know when to hire each one. It's nice to know when to have both of them. But what are some red flags? Because there's some scammers out here, y'all, and I do not want you to be scammed. I do not want you to experience a scamming. Okay. And so some red flags when hiring a financial professional. So first I split them again. Okay. We split them into two groups here. And so red flags for financial coaches. One is that they promise to quote unquote fix your money problems overnight. You've heard me say multiple times on this here podcast that these things take time. Improving your relationship with money takes time. It is not a quick fix situation. Okay. The next red flag is that they give you tax or legal advice without proper credentials. This is when it's good to highlight that there are some CPAs and some accountants that do have their financial coaching certification as well. Okay. Or they have some sort of credentials and certifications that allow them to be able to advise you on the habits and relationship with money. Okay. But you want to ask for proof of that if they start to give you advice. Otherwise, you want to be like, this is an opinion, right? And so that is something to understand there too. And there are also, I know like at least a few lawyers who ended up becoming financial coaches too, right? So there are people who have both sets of training, but you just want to get that verification. Next thing is that they push products like insurance or investments without disclosure. This one, I feel like I could really go in on, to be honest, because what I've been seeing in these social media streets lately about people saying that they are a financial educator, but are actually insurance salesmen has been insane. Okay. And you know how, like, look, we're just gonna keep it real, right? You know how sometimes we have these conversations where we're like, ugh, it just takes that one person to mess it up for us all, right? Sometimes that's how I feel when I look at these insurance people who are trying to say that they are financial educators with no training on being a financial educator, no certification around educating people about finances. It's just that they sell insurance, so they've decided that now they are a financial educator when really they're just trying to sell more insurance. All right. So just please watch out for that. Because as financial coaches, truthfully, we do not have the licenses to sell investment products. Okay. We can give our opinion on things. We can tell you what we have used. We can tell you what our clients have used, but we cannot actually sell you anything. We are not making a commission on that. And again, I always like to be very, very straight with y'all and say that there are some financial advisors or, insurance salesmen in this case, right? And both, actually. There's some of them that do have a financial coaching certification. And so shout out to those people. However, I've seen more insurance people in particular, um, act like they are financial educators when they are actually not. Okay. So I said what I said there. And maybe, you know what, we might do a separate episode of that whole thing later. If that's something that you want, holla at your girl. Okay. So now some red flags for CPAs. One is that they don't ask questions about your financial goals. Your CPA is great in terms of planning. And so if they don't want to know about your financial goals, that's something to kind of raise an eyebrow at. The next thing is that they only speak in jargon and do not educate you. Now, I feel like this is one of those things too. I know I put it here. I know. But this is something that could apply to multiple financial professionals. And so, especially if you want to be educated about what's going on, and really you want to know what is happening with your money or things that you can do with it, is just helpful to find somebody who can break it down for you in a way that makes it easy to understand. Okay. Now, I would say this is not one of those things that's like a make it or break it red flag, but again, it's giving, side eye. I'll say side eye on that. So the last red flag that I have for your CPA is if they try to handle personal finance coaching without experience as well. Okay. So again, we need people to have some experience, especially as they are working with your hard-earned money. All right. So that is something that you want to watch out for. Now, a couple of things that you can do to choose the right one for you. You want to ask yourself, do I need better money habits or better tax strategy? Okay. That's what you want to start with, especially if you have to, I wouldn't say have to, but if you are leaning towards hiring one of these professionals at a time, that's a good question to see who you want to reach out to and hire first. The next thing is you want to interview them before hiring. So, ask about their approach or attend a workshop or webinar that they have going on. You want to ask about the fees, how they help their clients, all of those good things. Like sometimes people will get on a discovery call with me and I'm telling them exactly, what we do in my coaching programs and how I work with them. And then, you get to the end and it's like, yeah, like ask me questions. Like I would love to know, like what you need to know. So don't be afraid to ask, even if it feels like a super basic question to you. If it's an important question to you, we want to be able to answer it. And I'm going to say that is, somebody who is a high integrity professional. All of us who are, um, just high integrity people like that, coaches, CPAs, any sort of financial professionals you work with, we want to answer your questions. We care about your experience with us. Okay. So make sure you just ask whatever comes to mind. And the last thing when you're choosing the right one for you, like understand their scope. So if they claim to do everything, that's probably a little bit of a red flag. Okay. Because even as a financial coach, I'll say there are some things that I refer out for. So I'll like, if there is like a lot that's happening with the tax strategy and like, do I file this return or do I need to like put this form or fill out this form or how do I do this? Right. That's when I'm quick to be like, this is a conversation to have with your CPA, you know? There are other things where we're asking specific questions around investments where I'll be like, this is a good question for a financial advisor. All right. And then even as we're dealing with some of the emotional parts around money, there are certain things where it's like, all right, let's check in with a therapist instead. Okay. And so that is that's how you also know that you'll be working with somebody who's good, who is not afraid to refer you out to the services that are going to best support you. All right. And so with that, we've covered a lot of things today around when to hire a CPA, when to hire a financial coach, some red flags to watch for, and how they can work together. Okay. And so now your action step for this episode is that now that you know the difference between the two, which professional do you need to hire next? All right. So remember, take it back to that question. Do I need better money habits or better tax strategy? And that can help you to determine who may be best to add to your financial team next. And this is also a great time to start researching who you may want to work with. All right. So I told you guys that I had a great life/business update, and I am excited to share with you. So I guess more like a little bit of a business update. But we hired our first full-time employee this last week, which is very exciting. Um and it just, just feels like a good level up time to be able to fully support, somebody's lifestyle and impact. And so, to my fellow entrepreneurs out there, I'm sure if you've experienced the same thing, like, you know how exciting this is. So I'm very excited about that. And I'm also excited about a certification that I'm going through that is around, the trauma that we deal with money. And so this is going to really allow me to deepen the work that I'm able to do with clients, which makes me very excited, because there's a lot that we carry around money, especially as I work with other Black women, women of color. There's some generational stuff that we got to work through. And so I'm excited to be able to, make a greater impact and dive deeper in those areas. And I also, part 3 of this update is that I wanted to let y'all know that the Rich to Wealthy Mastermind has opened for enrollment, and this only opens a couple times a year. And so I wanted to bring it to y'all on the podcast, because I know that you would get so much out of this experience. And it's really a space where you don't have to explain why money feels different to you if you are making a higher level of income, because we get it here. Like, we understand it. This is more than just a mastermind about wealth building strategies. It's your space to talk about money in a way that you can't anywhere else, to openly share your financial wins, challenges, and desires without judgment, and then to be surrounded by women who understand what it's like to be making more than your friends and family. And I would like to say that this mastermind is for you if you've been navigating the guilt or discomfort around making more money than your loved ones. You may be figuring out how to set boundaries when family and friends ask for financial help. You want to feel at home in your wealthy identity, not shrink yourself to make others feel comfortable, and also not be on that same, like feast or famine cycle when it comes to money. And you're ready to make big money moves like investing, hiring a personal chef, or booking first class without second guessing yourself or feeling guilty about those money moves that you're making. And then if you are also done with the fear of losing it all and want to confidently hold and grow your wealth, you are so capable of making it a reality. And that is exactly the type of work that we do inside the Rich to Wealthy Mastermind. So we're going to be having the conversations that few others are having. I'll even venture to say, I don't think anybody else is having them. And you'll get the tools, strategies, mindset shifts to confidently navigate this new level of wealth, to truly embody it, so that you can stop feeling isolated in your success and fully step into your financial power. And so if that's something that you are interested in, I will put the link in the show notes for you. And that is all that I have going on today for this episode. We do have a couple exciting ones coming up. So we have all the details. I know, look, y'all know I've been talking about the Organize Your Money Honey Intensive. And so I'm actually going to break that down for you so you can get more information about that offer in particular. And then I'm also going to have my client come to share her story. And I think you guys are really going to love the conversation that we're having there. And so I'm very excited to share that episode with you soon. And so with that, I will catch you in the next episode. Thank you for tuning into this episode of the Financial Confidence for High Achieving Women podcast. I hope the insights shared in this episode have inspired you to take one small action step toward a more empowered relationship with money. If you're ready to take control of your finances like the rich bitch you are, I invite you to book a 90-minute Organize Your Money Honey Intensive with me. You'll walk away with a crystal clear financial plan, a budget you'll actually stick to, and actionable steps to start saving and investing faster. Head to the link in the show notes to book your spot. I'm so grateful to be part of your financial journey, and I can't wait to see all the incredible moves you'll make. Thank you for listening, and I'll catch you in the next episode.